That is,
I mean, if you think about it, this is the thing that holds your super expensive boat to the earth.
For the last year and a half, we've been building our very own custom aluminum catamaran from scratch. And today, we're diving into a project that is arguably one of the most important systems of the boat.
It's like literally the only thing between you and crashing. Well, yeah.
Today, we're installing our anchoring system from the ground up. And it's a process that's both fascinating.
I'm starting to install all the electronics. This is all the control boxes.
Full of surprises.
There's a guy who actually lives in his van in the back of the yard, and he's got a lathe in it.
Challenging.
Please, let me get through it.
And of course, rewarding.
All right, another day, another project. I decided I needed another little morale boost this morning. I find that sometimes when I tend to work on a lot of projects that cover a long span of time and I don't see a lot of like visual progress, I start to feel, I don't know how to describe it, like antsy or just like, what am I doing? And so I kind of give myself a little bit of a treat every now and then and do something that I think will be like kind of fun and that I can actually see the progress. So what I decided to do is start fitting the anchor, even though we're nowhere near needing to know that right now. I just thought it sounded like a cool project to do.
Cool project to do? Yes. Simple to do? Definitely not. Before we dive into this one, let's zoom out for a second and take a look at all the components we'll be using and everything that needs to happen for this system to come together. First and foremost, of course, is the anchor itself.
So this is the Mantis M2 105-pound anchor. The thing I really like about this design is that it doesn't have a roll bar. So the M1 that we had on Delos has this big roll bar that goes up and around. And as you can see, this one doesn't have one. So we can actually bring the anchor right up to the boat and get a nice snug fit, which I think is gonna look super, super cool.
The next piece of the puzzle is the chain. We've gone with 100 meters of stainless steel Chromox chain, which will run through the inside of the longeron here, and then continue out into our Vetus Maxwell windlass that we'll use to lift and lower the anchor. Then inside this locker here will be a box that holds the chain, both at sea and at anchor, aka the chain box. So our checklist to go from this to this looks like this. Step 1 is going to be to install our custom rollers that will allow the chain to easily pass up into the longeron. Step 2 will be to install our ultra beefy Maxwell windlass. Step 3 is to build and align the chain box. And step 4 is wiring everything up and seeing this huge milestone come to life. So let's get back to where I left off and officially jumpstart this project.
Ooh, huge thank you to Mantis Marine. We've used their M1 anchor on Delos since we were in Grenada. What's that been, like 6 years? And it's a beast. It digs in and we love it. And so when we were building Delos 2.0, I sent the guys at Mantis a little message and said, hey, would you consider sending us one of your newer anchors? We're building a shiny new boat. Could you send us a stainless one? And we're like, okay.
This beefy girl was looking pretty slick, and we had some ideas of how this was all gonna fit. But we needed to tie the anchor up at the front of the longeron and see exactly how all the pieces of the puzzle would actually come together.
So now that it's fitted in place, and I know it's gonna work with the design of our mount, my next steps are to get a roller machined up. So there's a guy who actually lives in his van in the back of the yard, and he's got a lathe in it. If you are anything like me, then you value your privacy, especially online. And if you're dependent on incognito mode to get you there, I'm afraid you're gonna fall short. Which is why I'm happy to say that today's video is sponsored by NordVPN. We have used NordVPN for over 5 years now. I use it to connect to my financial sites in the US and Kazi uses it to stream shows in Swedish. If you've ever traveled abroad and tried to stream your favorite shows, you know exactly what I'm talking about. NordVPN will allow you to connect to hundreds of servers worldwide and magically teleport your IP address to anywhere. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. You can think of it as a secure, encrypted tunnel that all of your internet traffic is routed through instead of the open internet. This helps to keep you anonymous. It also protects your data from prying eyes, and it masks your IP address, which can help to hide your identity and your location. Do yourself a favor and sign up with NordVPN today. When you do, be sure to use our link. It is nordvpn.com/svdelos. I'll pop it below in the description. If you use our link, it's of course our channel, and you are also gonna get an amazing deal of 4 free months on a 2-year plan. There is also a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you really can't go wrong. Okay, once again, that link is nordvpn.com/svdelos. It is below, and that's it. Thank you so much for your time by watching. And now let's walk to the back of the yard, see if we can find Ed and get him to machine up those parts for us. There's always a lot of characters at a boatyard, and Ed is amazing. He's such a skilled, talented machinist, and he lives back here in the corner. So yeah, Ed said it's okay if I film him. This is Ed. Ed, how long have you been here at the yard?
25 years.
You've been here 25 years.
In the marina.
Not bad, huh?
Yeah.
And every time we need something machined or fixed up, Ed's the man. We bring it to him and he sorts it out for
I
us.
can machine anything, man.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
So this is my little scribbles.
Okay.
So basically this is a bushing.
Well, 32 minutes.
I asked Ed to machine what will become our future bow roller, which is basically a guide that will allow the chain to pass up and down smoothly and make the 90-degree turn into the longeron without snagging on anything or creating wear and tear. We would be using acetyl, which is a strong, stiff engineering thermoplastic known for its low friction, excellent wear resistance, and high dimensional stability. It can also be machined pretty good. I also had Ed machine up some bushings that will be instrumental in installing the bow roller without risk of corrosion from the dissimilar metals of the aluminum boat and the stainless steel pin we'll be using.
We don't want the stainless of the bolt to come in direct contact with the aluminum, so I'll cut a big hole like 30 mil so that I can have some acetyl isolating the stainless bolt from the aluminum anchor mount. So that's what I'm doing. And it's pretty cool. I don't know if you can see it in there, but there's the Martin on that side and one on that side. And the problem is that I can't get a hole saw in the center, so I'm gonna use the small angle drill to drill out through those marks, and then I'll be able to go in from the outside with the bigger hole saw. So I wanna make that hole about 32 mil. There we are on that side. I just do the same thing on the other side, and then I can come in with the bigger hole saw and the big drill from outside. Armor.
The holes are ready, and a few days later we got our custom bow roller and bushings back from Ed. Everything fit perfectly, and now we are ready to move on to the next step, installing the Vetus Maxwell RC12 windlass.
So this is the Maxwell RC12 windlass, provided by Vetus Maxwell. It's a really awesome piece of gear, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut a hole in the deck, fit this in place, and see how it goes. Cover your ears. I already tell it's gonna be a fun one.
Just in time.
Just barely got it.
Oh, look at that plate thickness.
Yeah, that's why it took me so long to get through, because look how thick that thing is.
Super thick. Wow.
What a beast. I mean, it handles a lot of force from the windlass, right?
Yeah, true, true.
Next, I double check my initial hole for good fit and placement, and then I use the template provided to mark and drill the second hole.
You doing right?
Yeah, that's great.
Roll the truth down.
Yay!
I think that looks pretty sweet, huh?
Yeah, that's great. It's more low key than I thought.
You're right. I thought it was going to be this beastie thing, but
Yeah. Nasty.
sweet. One little thing at a time. It's amazing how many things like this you have to do to build a boat, though. It's like
Yeah.
ridiculous.
With the windlass in place and looking schmick as can be, the next step was to start working on the box that will hold our anchor chain. Building a box might not sound too complex in the scheme of all the engineering that's gone into designing and perfecting our dream boat, but there's definitely a bit more to it than it looks.
Dan the man.
What do you got going on here, mate?
So this is the continuation of yesterday where we came up with our very accurate and detailed pencil drawing on the bottom of the boat. You just missed our planning session, Kaz. We're conspiring down here.
In the hole?
Drew up a little plan for a chain box. You know, the chain will come right down here, and then we don't want it just to pile up on the floor of the boat, so we're going to build a box with an angle so the chain will kind of hit it and go slide down the side towards a flat part, and then we'll line the inside of that with plastic, and that'll keep the stainless isolated from the alley. We've got this all marked out. I think there's 1 centimeter lines for our bend radius, and then we're going to use the bender. The bender. Bender. Cool. All right, ready?
So our concept here was simple. Take a flat aluminum plate, make 2 bends in it to create the front, bottom, and back of the box, double check that everything fits just how we want it, and then weld on the sides.
Keep it going. Keep it going. More. All the way.
We nailed the angles that we had in mind, and now it was time to pop it down into the locker and see if our vision matched reality.
Do you think it's gonna fit down the hole?
I'll get it out of the hole, I suppose. You getting this, Kaz? Remember them little toys you used to get? Plastic triangles and squares and octagons? Yes. I struggled with them as well, bro. I don't feel bad.
Our toddler skills were not up to par apparently. So just like this future engineer on the right side of your screen, it was time for us to work smarter, not harder. We decided we could spare a bit of height on the box, so we took it back out and trimmed it down just a hair. And just like that,
Yes.
we were in.
So the chain will fall right down here. It'll fall right onto that surface and then just slide down into the center. So I think we're okay to weld some sides on it. Bob's your uncle, huh?
Bob's your uncle.
Oh.
The box itself was done and looking good, but we still had a few other things to figure out before we could officially check this one off of our list. We wanted to test how the chain would stack and pile itself up depending on the placement of the box in relation to where the chain feeds in. So we rigged up a little test for it and played around a bit until we found the sweet spot. We also needed to make a liner for the box for two main reasons. Number one, sound reduction, and number two, preventing corrosion from the dissimilar metals of the stainless anchor chain and the aluminum box.
Yeah, so this is the material that we actually use to line the chain box and to line the longeron. I bought it in a big sheet. I think I bought like a 3 meter by 2 meter sheet, just huge. And we've been cutting and using it for various things. It's called HDPE. It's a high density PE plastic. And it's basically cutting board material. Just to give you an idea of how it wears and how it would withstand to sharp edges and stuff. And it is very cheap and easy to replace if we do damage it.
Cool.
Easy to work with too.
Yeah.
We followed a very similar process to prepare the liner, cutting a single sheet to size and then using the benda to shape it to match the inside of the box perfectly. The only real difference here is that we needed to use a heat gun on the seams to make it a bit more pliable. A bit of pushing, shoving, tapping, and some more persuasion from the heat gun, and we had the fit just right. And the last little step before cutting the other sides and gluing it all together was to cut out the drainage hole that will let any mud, seawater, and other bits flow right out of the box and out of the bottom of the boat.
Get in your hole, Dane. Have you met Wayne? Shane.
Shine. Well, look at that.
This one we haven't tried yet, Kaz.
We haven't. Oh, no.
No, it'll go.
Can you follow it?
It'll go.
There you go. I'll go. Yay.
Yeah, can you spin it a bit more? Get in there.
Yay.
There it is.
Wow. Snug, huh? Snug like a bug in a rug. Wow.
Simple process.
Poof, and it's done.
Done.
So what's the next steps then?
Next steps, we might shut it down and go and have a beer, I reckon.
But we still need to do the sides or not?
Yeah, so we'll cut the sides and then we might wait till we get the chain, get the roller in, get the chain up and through, and then we'll glue it and just put the chain on it to hold it while it dries, and
Oh, okay. Yep.
then she's good to go.
Okay. Another day done. It's been quite a long day today, but we're getting a lot of stuff done and I actually really love it. I don't know, even though it's hard work and sometimes you're super exhausted and it's long days, I still feel that it's just so much fun, and it's so much fun working together with really cool people and just creating stuff and seeing stuff happening. There's been so much like visible progress lately. Oh, hello. Just vlogging, you know?
Oh.
How are you doing?
Yes.
Ready to go home in a bit?
Yes.
Packing up, getting my stuff, and it's a bird inside the boat. What is that bird? It's like a little swallow. See it? What is he doing in there? Dude, you're gonna have to get out. Is he hurt? Can you try to fly that way? Time to head home and come back tomorrow.
Good morning. Starting on a really cool project this morning. I'm starting to install all the electronics for the Selden furling system and the winches, and also the Vetus Maxwell RC12 anchor windlass.
If you've been following along with all the latest episodes, you'll know that we're going to have electric winches and furlers that will allow us to set and trim the sails without breaking a sweat. A few days earlier, we started to run some of the wiring through the Longeron already, and now it was time to pull everything together.
And here's kind of how it works. This is all the Selden control boxes. It has one power supply unit, and from the power supply unit, it connects to each of these individual boxes with both power out of the power supply unit and also a CAN bus system. So the CAN cables look to be just like standard NEMA 2000 connectors, although it has to be on its own independent network. Here's the cables. And basically what you do is you connect all these up. I'll put up a little diagram from the Selden website, but basically each furler or electric winch connects to one of these boxes. You can see this is for the CXE45, this is the continuous line furler, this is the 404E, this is for either the cutter stay or the forestay, and then these are the E60, E66 winches. We have 1, 2, 3 of those. So my plan is to lay those all out on this board outside of the boat, get them all laid out very nicely, cleanly, and the wiring run up the way that I want. And then I'll install that whole board into the boat. The other thing that we're going to try and fit on here is the stuff, the Maxwell.
Isn't that always the case,
This
though?
is the control box for that. The base
that's
station
better.
has the sensor for the chain counter, and then this is the relay for the power. It's nice because since we went 48 volt, instead of a big honking cable, we only need a 6 millimeter squared cable, which is pretty reasonable size. This system is 12 volts, but it's limited to consuming 1,000 watts in total. So that will be a fairly sizable cable, bigger than the Windlass for sure. The nice thing about the system is because it's all connected by CAN bus, it manages its own power. So for example, if one of the motors starts to load up, it knows that, it can sense that. If you're running too many things at once, it knows that, it will sense that, and it will deal with the power. I'm not sure exactly if it slows down one of the winches or stops one of them, or if you can assign a priority or something like that. I'll have to figure out all those configuration details, but for now, I'm just working on general layout and making sure all the wiring runs are going to be nice and positioned where I want them. I'm going to do a time lapse now of me trying to figure out the optimal configuration for this.
I played around with different configurations and quickly realized it was going to be way too crowded if I tried to put everything all on one board. So I decided to make a second panel to be able to have everything spread out neatly and with good access for all the different components.
This is the first one. So what we're doing is we're using this for structure because it's light and gives it some strength. And this stuff is good to screw into, but it doesn't. It's kind of like wobbly. It doesn't really have a lot of strength. It won't keep form.
And the holly pan is not very great for like attaching
the holly pan
things.
sucks for screwing stuff too. So
Yeah.
I put this on top of this, and it's like really nice. And then the way it works is wherever we want a button, so these are the waterproof buttons, so we can place these guys wherever we want. Then all I need to do is this cable, this network backbone runs, and it's just that size. It plugs into here, and then these wires hook up to the back of the buttons, right?
Okay.
And so once this is connected into this network, then you assign this guy to whichever winch or furler you want. And then on the same board, since it's all up front, we're also going to do the stuff for the Windlass.
Oh, okay.
This whole project started because I wanted to test the Windlass. And then I'm like, well, I have to hook this up, so I need a place to mount it. And I was like, well, I might as well just do all this. And then it turned into like a project. But it's cool. I'm in my zone here. Yeah, I'm having fun with it.
I got to work on the other panel as well, and I gotta say, they came out looking pretty dang cool.
Here. This one is a little bit more complicated. This is the Selden power supply unit. This is the emergency stop relay. So this goes to a trip button. If we get a runaway winch or need to emergency stop a winch, I'll have a button that I'll hit close to the winches and perhaps at the helm as well. That'll turn the solenoid off and it'll cut power to all the Selden stuff. This is the waterproof circuit breaker for the Selden power supply unit. This is the 48 volt circuit breaker for the Maxwell Windlass. This is the wireless control unit for the Windlass and the solenoid for the Windlass. So basically what I'm doing is just getting everything wired up and testing the network, and I just configured the remote control for the Windlass to talk to the base station and listen. When I hit the button, you can hear the relay click. So that's good news. That means I've got everything wired up correctly, and now I think I'm ready to place this whole board in the boat so that I can connect it up to the Windlass with the idea of testing the Windlass. That's what I'm trying to get to. So I'm gonna go ahead and screw this thing in, connect it all up, and then we'll see what happens. All right, chuck it in, see what happens. See if it fits.
Oh!
All right, so this guy should fit up here just like this. Perfect, huh? It's a great fit. Now I'm gonna mount it, wire it up, and we'll give it a test.
Brian just got this last panel in. We are ready to test the whole systems. Let's go.
But before we do that, there's still one piece of equipment that we haven't really touched on yet, and it's one of the most critical elements of the entire setup.
So this is the chain that we've chosen for Delos
pretty cool,
2.0. I'm really excited about this. So it's shiny because it is a Chromox stainless steel chain.
It's grade 318LN, which is even better than 316 stainless. It's amazing.
Yeah.
The thing that I'm really excited about this is I ran some numbers on the normal galvanized chain that we had on Delos, and we've already replaced that chain 2 times. Each time we replace that chain, it's a couple grand, and it takes a lot of time and effort. We've also had to have that chain re-galvanized.
Oh, when I did it in Annapolis, it was such a nightmare.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can remember that episode. It was terrible. Brian had his surgery, and it was just a mess.
Yeah. So this should avoid that. So that's a major benefit. It's super strong. It is very durable. It's corrosion resistant, so it'll be really good for the boat, because obviously on an alley boat we don't want a lot of like galvanized steel flakes coming off and destroying the anchor locker. So that's an issue. The other thing that's cool about it is it's slippery. So I don't know if you've ever seen anybody having to flake their chain into the chain locker, so it comes up in a big pile and then gets too tall. So this one is actually very slippery, and it should form like a wider, flatter pile instead of a taller, steeper pile, because we've also had that problem on Delos where we end up with a tall, steep pile, and then we go heeling over, we go sailing, the chain pile falls over onto itself, and then you actually have to get in there to break it loose because the windlass can't pull it loose. So there's a bunch of benefits. It's super strong. I think it's grade 60.
60 plus, actually.
Yeah, 60 plus. And it looks freaking cool.
Yeah. And it's
you can't discount that fact.
And I think it's gonna match the anchor really, really well as well, because that's stainless as well. I think a cool plus too is that it's made in Germany. The company is from Germany.
There are some dubious chains out there that you have to be careful of.
And you really do not want to kind of jeopardize the chain. You want to go with like a brand that is.
I mean, if you think about it, this is the thing that holds your super expensive boat to the earth. It's like literally the only thing between you and crashing. Well, I mean, but without the chain, the anchors, they both have to work together. Right?
So I think this is giving us a lot of peace of mind, and I'm really stoked about it. Yeah. No more rusty chains, yay!
Okay, so we've given you a proper rundown of all the ins and outs of our entire anchoring setup. And now there's just one thing left to do.
Ready, guys?
Yes.
Everything's been leading up to this point. We're ready to pull the chain up through the Longeron, run it through the chain stopper around the windlass, and then see how it fits into the chain box installed in the boat. I've done all the wiring, the relays and stuff are installed. I've temporarily hooked it up to a battery here, 48-volt batteries. It's 48-volt windlass from Maxwell. So, ready?
I'm really excited. This is like huge,
All
right?
week's been leading up to this, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Okay, so that's the chain stopper.
Isn't that a nice bit of hardware?
Yeah. Where it should
I think that's
sit.
about it, huh? You want to do the honors?
You do
I
that.
wanted Sierra to do it, but she's not here today. Ready?
Nice.
Okay. It's working! Yeah, I'll fire it up and slide it down. 100 meters a day. We're at 63 right now. Oh. We actually stopped at 65. I haven't calibrated the chain counter because we were pulling it up for a long time.
Yeah.
And it should be 100 meters, so it all fit into the box good.
Yeah.
It piled in nicely, which is a good proof of our box design concept. It
Yeah.
fits in there pretty good. Okay, we should probably let it out now.
With everything running smoothly, next comes the most satisfying moment of all. Hooking up our shiny new anchor to our shiny new anchor chain and seeing a week's worth of designing, planning, and problem solving all come together and taking a massive milestone off of our list.
This is the swivel, which allows the boat to pivot around but still be very strong. We have one of these on Delos as well, Delos 1, and it works really good. I'm not gonna do it permanent now. I'm just gonna sort of put it on so that we can pull the chain up and make sure that it fits.
Hey. I'm a bit nervous. Real snug fit.
These are the moments in boat building that you just can't beat, and we were pretty dang pleased with how it came out.
I think that worked out pretty well for a first run.
Yeah.
That was cool. That was
Yeah.
smooth. That's a big milestone.
Huge
What do you
milestone.
think about how it looks up there?
I think it looks great. One thing I really love is how the chain goes through the Longeron. That is kind of like hidden inside. It's not out on deck.
It looks really cool, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's also like really gonna be amazing, you know, when we're on the trampolines and stuff, that it's not like a chain there in the middle.
Let me show you what we've done up here.
Yeah.
We placed this roller, we have this acetyl roller in here, cut out of a big, basically a tube of, a cylinder of acetyl that we bought.
Yeah,
solid
that's
piece.
what you had the guy do next door, right?
Well, Ed did that. It's a 20mm pin, so it's pretty strong, and we put acetyl bushings to separate. You can see them on the side here, the stainless from the alley.
Yeah.
And then we also bought a big stock piece of acetyl, and then we filmed this whole thing, but unfortunately we lost a drive, and we lost the drive before we could back it up. So we lost that footage, but me and Dan made these. It was mostly Dan, to be honest with you. I was filming. But basically we cut the sides on the table saw, we cut a groove in it with the router, and then we shaped it. It was a round stock, so the bottom was already rounded, and then I used adhesive to attach them to these plates, and it gives us a place for the anchor to chalk up against, so it's not stainless against the
Yeah, so it
aluminum.
sits on that really nicely.
Yes, and it actually holds it really well. Yeah, so that's cool. That's a pretty big milestone, huh?
Love it. I think it looks great. High five.
High five.
Yeah. So hope you liked that video, and yeah, if you do,
I popped up.
if you do, yeah, just do the usual, click like, subscribe, pop a question in the comments below.
And go check out the gear we got from our sponsors. I mean,
Yeah.
there's 3 sponsors involved in this project, right? The Maxwell RC12 Windlass, which is fantastic and a really nice bit of gear. The Chromox chain, which we talked about, just incredible. And the Mantis M2 anchor. We've had a Mantis anchor on Delos for 7 years now,
Yeah.
M1. And we've really liked it. It always sets good. It's a very powerful anchor. This is the 105-pound one. It's one size above what they recommended for this boat, which I like to go big on my anchors. But yeah, it's beautiful, and can't wait to see how it works for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll pop all of those links in the comments below, and yeah, if you want to check it out. Otherwise, we'll see you next week, and yeah, have a good one. Oi.
Oh, jeez. Did you film that?
Yeah. Sneaking up on me with your rods.
This is my second job.
Yeah,
I still
I know.
have my first job.
Male gigolo.